and see about that. We'll have a full forecast for you coming up in just about 5 to 15 minutes.
All right, talk to you then. Thanks, Darby. Nebraska Governor Dave Heineman has asked the president for a federal disaster declaration for flooding along the Missouri and Platte rivers.
Both rivers are expected to reach record levels this month and remain high until fall. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Megan Palera begins tonight's flood coverage. Megan?
The governor wants federal assistance for the 18 Nebraska counties that have already been affected by flooding over the past month. Channel 8 was the only Lincoln station to join the governor on a tour of northeast Omaha today. He began at Epley Airfield and worked his way along the river. A possible levee breach there could mean evacuations in some neighborhoods. The governor says a number of National Guard troops will be deployed to monitor the levee on a 24-hour basis.
As I've stated before, this is not like maybe a tornado or hurricane that occurs for a few days. You make the assessment, you submit the damage request. This is going to go on for months, probably beyond Labor Day, into the winter, so it's going to be an ongoing situation.
In addition to deploying troops, 1-ton sandbags will be pre-positioned. If a disaster area is declared, a Nebraska National Guard Black Hawk helicopter would be deployed to help with sandbagging efforts. Now, at this time, a total dollar amount spent on the 2011 Missouri River flood has not been released, but Omaha has already spent about $1.5 million.
And as the governor and many others have said, this is going to be with us for months. Thank you, Megan.
Two of our reporters spent the day in a small Iowa town touring flooded farmlands. The rising Missouri River broke through the main levee just outside Hamburg earlier this week, submerging cropland for miles. Today, our reporters toured devastation that is yet to be seen by anyone other than the farmers who experienced it firsthand. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Stephanie Costanzo kicks off our team coverage.
I didn't think it was going to be this bad.
No. Ed Forrell has been farming on this land for 15 years, but after the first levee breach in Hamburg earlier this week, it left his farm and about half a dozen others flooded, with 10 to 15 feet of water surrounding their land. Inside his hunting cabin sits 4 feet of water that will most likely sit stagnant for months. With not much time, he packed up what he could and brought other items to higher ground.
We took everything out of the house, the furnace, the water heaters, anything that was valuable. We took it out, put it in a 50-foot semi-trailer, and had to move it to high ground. This is causing a lot of people a lot of grief.
To put this in perspective for you, I'm in the middle of someone's family farm. Right now it's completely flooded with water, and I'm actually able to touch the top of the 10-foot basketball hoop.
What a shame.
What's that?
Randy's house.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be toast.
Thousands of acres of corn and beans lie under the water, and what homeowners couldn't save is already being considered a total loss. For Forrell, it's an overall bad situation, one he said could have been prevented.
It's just too bad they couldn't have stopped that. The Corps pulled off of it, and then the local guys went to work on it. And that part you see over there that's brown, that's the whole stretch that they worked on and stopped it. I think if they would have rocked that with riprap on the other side earlier, I think they could have saved it and saved all of this.
At least half a dozen farms are now underwater from when that first levee broke. The residents of Hamburg are just crossing their fingers that the second levee will hold so they don't have this same fate. Reporting in Hamburg, I'm Stephanie Costanzo, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
Boy, that is some video there. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Kelly Sommariva also spoke with farmers along the broken levee, and she continues our flood coverage tonight.
Since Monday's breach, Missouri River floodwaters have inundated these farms, threatening the very livelihood of Hamburg, Iowa.
Absolutely. It's a farming community.
On an exclusive tour of this levee, which surrounds the southwest part of Hamburg, longtime resident Ray Hendrickson describes it as a horseshoe around the town that creates a basin for floodwaters. Where I'm standing used to be profitable farmland. Locals estimate that already 30,000 acres of corn and beans are underwater, and they say the cost of that could be millions of dollars.
That's just a drop in the bucket.
But despite the devastation, Ray is confident even floodwaters can't wipe Hamburg off the map.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Hamburg isn't going to go away. It'll be there. We've got a lot of industry in Hamburg. We can make Act 2 popcorn. Tonight's got a big plant, which is very vital to Hamburg, and we've got 2 big elevators.
Local farmers aren't giving up either. they've done what they can to disperse the waters. The Army Corps of Engineers authorized farmers to cut this break in the levee to help reduce the pressure of floodwaters on farmland and bring the flow of water back down to the Missouri. Most residents do believe the Corps of Engineers' second levee will hold, sparing the vulnerable south end of town and those who live there.
The south end sits about 4 foot lower than the main street of town, and I don't know how many people are in that south end of town, but I think they said there was about 7 holdouts yet not moving out of south end of town.
Although a few hundred have already evacuated. But until the waters recede, everyone will be holding their breath. Reporting from Hamburg, Kelly Sommariva, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
Really puts it in perspective to see that video. Our thanks to those men for taking them out on the boat tour, and our thanks to the girls for bringing that video to us. Well, switching gears now, the University of Nebraska Board of Regents unanimously voted today to make some big changes.